Hello everyone, this is Bricks with another video. Today I'm going to showcase the worst sets of 2025. The sets I have today are not just a criticism of the price, although the prices on many of these sets are pretty bad. I did want to do this video as an overall critique of the quality and custom appeal for these sets. For the honorable mention, or in this case the dishonorable mention, I have the Game Boy. And this is going to be a very controversial choice considering that it's one of the most best designed sets of the year, but I just don't get the point of this set. Most people who would love this set would probably rather have an actual Game Boy to play with. And yes, some might argue that this is the next best thing, considering the price of a Game Boy on eBay, but I disagree. You're going to get very minimal entertainment from this set, and just end up wanting a real Game Boy anyway. All in all, this set seems like it's really just a statue dedicated to classic gaming. At number 10, I have the French Cafe, which came out March 1st. I love the coloring and the part selection for the build, but this facade just feels empty. And the fact that the back is completely flat doesn't help the set's character either. And speaking of character, I find it odd that this set is a cafe scene, but with no figures to be in it. At number 9, we have the Ninjago City Workshops, which came out March 1st. The set is okay, but when compared to the other Ninjago City pieces, it falls remarkably short. And some people might think that's not a fair criticism, but I think for the scale, this set is just very underwhelming. If I were to ever get this set, I have a distinct feeling that if I stack it next to my other Ninjago City builds, I would get an itch to take it away and make it into something else. At number 8, we have the Batman Tumbler vs. Two-Face and Joker, which came out on January 1st. I did a review of this set about a month or so ago where I called it the worst tumbler LEGO has made, and I stand by that statement. The tumbler is smaller than the last one LEGO made, yet more expensive. The Batman figure is remarkably underwhelming, as is the Bat Signal, and while the Two-Face and Joker figures are amazing, they don't have any weapons or anything to fight the tumbler. It's a versus set, but the villains are way underarmed for the challenge. We already get so few DC sets as it is, and it's unfortunate that we can't even get them in good quality. Coming in at number 7, we have the Captain America Civil War Battle, which came out January 1st. Compared to the previous airport battle set, this set is just lazy. Sure, it's more refined with more figures, but the playability is non-existent. There's also only 3 original figures, so if you already have figures like Captain America or Iron Man, this set dramatically loses its value for the mainstay MCU fans. All in all, you're paying $100 for a very skimpy diorama set. That's it. At number 6, we have Malfoy Manor, which came out January 1st. This set is everything bad about the 12 Grimmauld Place set, but even worse. The facade is phenomenal, but that's it. All you get are a bunch of dollhouse-styled rooms in the back that a minifigure can't even do anything in. The main and only attraction is the meeting table, that only sits 2 figures by the way, so that's not even accurate to Deathly Hallows. And also, you get the dungeon below that's just a gate and a blank space, and the lack of Ron Weasley in this set is just a miss. At number 5, we have the Central Train Station, which came out August 1st. I love the minifigures and the track utility vehicle, but that's just about it. This set had the potential to be peak LEGO City, but it's just so hollow. You have so much empty space, a 3-story elevator that doesn't really lead anywhere, except the control room, and there's no way for figures to actually get across from one side to the other for the platforms, despite how vast the set is. Lastly, this is a train station set with no train. This whole thing is just riddled with missed opportunities. At number 4, we have Avengers Endgame Final Battle, which came out May 1st. The Ant-Man mech is good, almost like it was supposed to be its own set, but they decided to lump it into this diorama. Outside of that, this is easily the worst MCU set of 2025. Not only one of the worst sets of 2025, but definitely top contender for most lazy. The whole point of this scene was to show how devastating the fight with Thanos was and how everyone came together to fight him. But there's so many figures jammed into such a small space, you don't see any of the scenery, except for the damaged Avengers logo. The scenery itself is also very flat and lacking in any features. You have a bunch of random portals for the heroes, but half of them are too small for people to go through. That combined with so many figures, you end up with a jumbled mess. And speaking of the figures, only 3 of these figures are new from this set. And I think this set really highlights how badly LEGO has shot themselves in the foot by saturating the market with so many MCU figures. With so many copies of the same figures over and over again, they're cutting down the actual value of their sets and shortchanging the fans who are the longtime collectors. At number 3, we have Spider-Man vs. Oscorp, which came out on August 1st. This set has so much potential, yet so many missed opportunities. First off, the price is atrocious. $140 for 808 pieces is unacceptable. But even if you remove the price, there's still a lot of problems with this set. We get no leg printing for any minifigure in such a high-priced set, except for the Green Goblin armor. On top of that, almost all the figures are completely unoriginal. They either take figures from previous Marvel sets or just use parts from other sets, so they're not special. Such an example is using Ron Weasley's dad's head for Norman Osborn. That's just lazy. The buildings themselves are very bland and very flat. With Oscorp Tower, you get one screen, which is a sticker, another sticker for the Oscorp logo, and no character or architectural uniqueness in the slightest. Then when you get to the interior, there's just no story or scenes to enjoy. You get a lobby and receptionist desk with no receptionist, you get an empty lab and a tank where Norman Osborn becomes the Green Goblin, but that's it. And the connecting buildings have no interesting features as well. On the box art, you see Kraven the Hunter robbing a jewelry store, but nothing else. It's just random characters tossed onto a city corner. I think this set could have been so much better if they got rid of the side buildings and dedicated all 808 pieces to a much better Oscorp Tower. Coming in at number 2, you have the Republic Juggernaut, which came out August 1st. Those Marines are really cool, but that's just about it. This set is laughably small, you can barely fit anybody in, the price is a disgrace, and I've seen articles and videos where you can't lift up this set without it falling apart. And even LEGO YouTube shills had to admit how bad the set was. Now, defenders of the set will point to the clone figures and the commando droids as a worthwhile reason to buy this set, but LEGO Star Wars minifig collecting has just evolved into crypto trading at this point, so that argument means nothing to me. At least there were people making great mocks out of this parts. I even saw someone make a Coruscant Senate, which was really cool. And coming in as the worst set of 2025, we have the Death Star, which came in on October 1st. I present to you a $1,000 LEGO set made for no one. And that's absolutely true, there is no point to this set. For $1,000, you can have the world's biggest gray pancake with uninspiring figures and a series of cramped rooms to represent scenes of the original trilogy. And on top of that, you get a really bad gift with purchase that's basically downloadable content meant only for the Death Star set. This set is just too imperfect to justify the $1,000, and with so much information on the set coming out from the designers of this set, it's evident that greed fueled many of the poor design choices behind LEGO's work here. And one thing I want to point out is that while this set is a letdown, within the first 10 days it was already on back order. I find it so interesting that no matter how lacking or greedy LEGO is, the fans will still flock to a set and consume. To me, this Death Star set isn't just an indictment on LEGO, but on the fans as well. And some people might find that harsh, but I'm sorry, we're never going to get better quality and value in modern sets until LEGO feels the sting in their sales. LEGO needs to become better, but so do we. So that's my top 10 list. Let me know what you think is the worst set of 2025 and why. Be sure to sound off in the comments, and as always, have a wonderful day.